all say Yama? Yama is hello in my grandma's language. Now, as my beautiful uncles here can attest to as well, whatever you hear tonight over the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes, that's only one version of 600. Hey, 600 mainstream languages in Australia, at least 3,000 dialects. Okay, second only on the planet to the Papuans. Okay, they've got something like 6,000. They could be talking a different lingo from here to that 7-Eleven due to different geographical shapes. So as the night goes on, I'm going to play some music, recite some of my thematically relevant poetry, play you some of this yiraki here, and one of my favourite things to do within the confines of Aboriginal culture, sing. I like to use my voice. I've been singing and speaking my grandma's language since I was about 4. I've been blessed to have been around to at least 48 countries, around the beautiful Mother Earth at least 12 times, thanks to beautiful brothers such as Gungagiri and a few other friends of the Gummeroy group, of at least about another 5 groups that I'll mention as I go along. So we'll start off with a yiraki solo. Okay, the easiest way to remember the word yiraki, it's a traditional name, because didgeridoo is actually an Irish name, because the word dove means black. And the word didgeridoo, it's an ancient steel pipe I've heard on rumour that they played a few thousand years ago. Okay, so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out when they came here. Oh, look, Paddy, there's a black guy, he's playing a pipe. We'll call it didgeridoo. That's how they got, and the English, like they did with a lot of things, they changed it, okay, to didgeridoo. Like I'll touch on language and how they changed that as well. But this one here, I'll play you a solo. I call this one Time to Rise. It's just about a lot of the animals that I hear when I grew up. I was born in 1973 on the around Moree. So I am a descendant of the Gummeroy people. The language in which I speak is Gamal Arai. When you deconstruct that word, the word Gamal means no. And the word Arai means the ones who use that first part of the word to say no. So Gamal means no. Arai means you use the first word. So that's why up around home we have Gamal Arai, Yual Arai, etc., etc. We always start the tribal name with the word that we normally use to say no. Okay? And then on my other grandmother's side of the family, I'm a descendant of the Waka Waka people. So the Waka Waka actually means no, no. So before I play this first tune, I want to acknowledge the beautiful custodians of this land, the Gadigal people. Gadigal actually means you're freezing in my language too. So you could have the same word and it means something totally different. Because in my grandma's language, I think there's only about 390 to 450 words. I never actually started learning the lingo until I was about 19, even though, like, full-on serious for educational purposes, although I've been growing up around it since, like I said, about 4, learning little songs here and there. Okay, so thank you very much to the traditional custodians, the Gadigal people. Some people say of the Eora Nation, some people say of the Darug Nation. It's not up to me to say what is right and what is wrong, because it's cultural protocol just to acknowledge. I do not belong to these people, so I have no rights to speak on their behalf. All I can say is thank you very much, and also thank you to Uncle Max Yulo from the Budgety people and Uncle Max Harrison. I've been waiting for many years, Uncle, to work with you and meet with you. I've heard nothing but the deadliest words about you, so thank you very much. Uncle Max Harrison. This one's called Time to Rise. Hang on, I just better loosen my belt. And I haven't even eaten your food yet, Jeeves. Hang on. Boom, boom. Ugh, here we go. Man, is it hot in here or what? And it's not because of you, eh? It's not because of you, it's just hot. Where's the water? Sounds like a song behind the curtain. Now let's put it all into context, eh? This instrument here, Yiraki, out of 600 nations, this is another acknowledgement that I must do before the show goes on. The custodian of this instrument, Jalu Guruwiri from Yikala, Northeast Arnhem Land. I give thanks and praise to my beautiful creator, Bayami. You might call the creator Allah, doesn't matter. To me, it's a higher consciousness. It's all about how things came to be. I won't get too much into the creative side of religion. I'll leave it up to the expert, Uncle Max, and I'm going to do more entertaining and with snippets of education, putting it into perspective. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you to Jalu for giving me permission to play this instrument, like he has many other tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of beautiful people all across the planet. It's actually played more in Germany than anywhere else on the planet, seriously. And like a lot of things, you know, people don't appreciate what's in their own backyard. So after you leave here, I encourage you to go out, say hello to blackfellas, different Aboriginal people, get to know their story, because there's so many different stories and different versions of what I'm going to share with you tonight. So I'm going to sing you a welcome song, okay? This one's called Bayami Bawilili, which means a song from my creator to say thank you very much. My brother here, Norm, is a descendant of the Kalgadunga people of remote, I'll have to get in there, remote parts of Queensland. And also there's Torres Strait Island blood as well. Now, traditionally, a lot of the times they use the key of F sharp. Why? Because the human body responds to the vibration of around F sharp. Actually, no, sorry, up around here, more around the head. E, the one I just played there, if you felt it around here, around the chest area, that's why. And the lower you go, the more calming and the more soothing the physical effect of the yiraki or the didgeridoo has on your body. So this one here, it's not a traditional song. Okay, I made this up in my grandma's language, and it's a personal devotional prayer from me directly to my creator to say thank you very, very much for everything that I've not only received within one day, but my entire life. I dedicate this song to my beautiful first cousin that lost her life about 5 days ago, and we're going to put her back in the sweet Mother Earth tomorrow. We call it Gabanyamba. So this is one for you, Cousin Sonia. Can you all say Ulbaloo? Ulbaloo. Can you tell them what that means?
That means I love you.
See, I love you all. Thank you very much. See, look, if you see anything you like here tonight, okay, just go, yo what? Can we say yo what? Yo what? We'll leave. I spent about 18, 20 years of my life. I always wanted to be a professional golfer. And when you do a good shot, they go, shot gums, and they'll give you a clap. So we'll leave the clap into golf or tennis. Just scream, go mad. Do whatever you want if you feel good about anything you hear, see, or learn about tonight. Okay? Want to see you dance? Yeah? Okay. Which one you want to do first? This is my blood cousin, Nath. He's also a Gummeroy man. Okay? Say hello, Nath. Say Yamagara, Nath. Yinda Guani Gabanya? There you go, Nath. You crazy? Are you a crazy brother or what? Which one you want to do?
I'll do
Kangaroo. Okay. Now, a lot of the animals in Aboriginal culture, very, very simple languages. A lot of the animals in Grandma's tribe, they were given names according to how they move or how they sound. Can you all say bunda? Bunda. Kangaroo, bunda, 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 bunda. They also say bunda, okay? All depends on which dialect within inside the tribe. Now, the most famous word the English took from Grandma's people would have to be kookaburra, but was never called kookaburra. It was called gogoragaga. You listen to this. So I spent a little time in the bush. Now, another classic example up in the territory, they call the crow wak wak. So that's all I'm doing. I'm speaking language like dinner one is my favourite rhythm. Okay, when I say dinner one, it pretty much means long, tall, skinny legs, like myself, like my cousin Nath, okay? It's kind of a Gummeroy trait, big, long, skinny, fit fellas, kind of. Okay? So, the emu. Now, I always pay homage to the emu and give love and tribute towards the emu. Why? Because he's the best dad in the animal kingdom, eh? Yeah. You know that song, Stand By Your Man? Yeah. Well, it doesn't apply to the emu. She lays the eggs and goes looking for another man straight away. But the male emu sits on the eggs, boop, till they're all hatched. Can you do sound effects when the emu comes out? He's a master of sound effects. Well, we never had books and stuff, so we had to entertain ourselves. What would an emu sound like? He is, he's honestly the master of sound effects. So, the eggs hatch, the little chicks come out, and you've got to look after them little emu chicks, okay? Or Gangal dinner one, the baby emus, until he's big enough and strong enough to look after themselves. But this has got nothing to do with the emu. This is a kangaroo, bunda. Kangaroo. Now, this one was taught to me by a very special friend of mine. You can't miss him when you see him. His name's William Barton. He gets around the world playing orchestral music, composes his own music, etc. And he taught me this one. It's a story about the big western red kangaroo. In his language, we call him Ugaranji. So thank you, Brother William. He's also from the Kalkadunga people. Hi. Ugaranji Majanba, Ugaranji Majanba. Ugaranje majanba nayangale nayangale tap ugaranje majanba nayangale nayangale ugaranje majanba nayangale nayangale ugaranje majanba ugaranje majanba That would have to be the sexiest kangaroo you'll ever see. I'm going to be a grandpuppy, he's going to be a daddy again. Give him a round of applause, Cuzzo.
That's what got me in trouble in the first.
Hey, we're not playing Kong shells here, bro, come on. Which one now?
The dinner one.
Dinner one, okay? Emu. Now, I won't even bore you with this bit of information, but who can tell me why the emu and the kangaroo represent us on the coat of arms?
They don't walk backwards.
That's it. So they can never be involved in a Michael Jackson film clip. They can't do the moonwalk or whatever. Isn't that funny, eh? Like Michael Jackson, he was the best dancer in the world, but he's a white fella.
Because they never retreat.
Pretty cool. Yeah, they don't retreat, yeah. Emu dance. Oh, yane pura dekara dine wanjology. Oh, yane pura dekara dine wanjology. 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 Hey, hop. Jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology. Jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology, jane pura dekara dene wanjology. Oh, yeah. I better, eh? See, now, being Aborigine, to me, is about having a direct link with our sweet Mother Earth, with the elders. But most of all, being mindful. And I don't do too good at that sometimes. So that's why it's a very essential need for me to keep on practicing culture, to be mindful. I spend a lot of time in the bush by myself as well, so... yeah, we might talk about that later. But it is I'll explain some of the moves and the sounds. Okay? We don't do that just to be cool, okay? We do that to let the spirits know that we're there, to appease them, make them happy. Okay? Shh. Sweet Mother Earth gives us breath. Why can't we give it breath back? Sweet Mother Earth gives us life. We can give her a massage for the form of vibration, a vibration of breath and the tongue, etc. Okay? She gives us life, food, water, shelter. We can give her a massage, release her spirit in the form of dust. Okay? It's all about paying homage back to the elders and the sweet Mother Earth, the giver and the taker of all life. But only in the physical sense, because we're all going to come back again. Pretty much a lot of Aboriginal people believe like the Buddhists. Until you learn your lesson there, mate, you're going to keep coming back again and again. That's why we have the totemic systems, etc. Nayagani Yurtendali Gabanya. Can you all say Yurtendali? That's Goanna. That's my tribal totem of the Gummeroy people. And on my other grandmother's side, the totem is Bunya, which is the bunya nut, where the current day festival Woodford is held up in the Glasshouse Mountains. So I'm descended from those two people. When you see Cuz here, do that one, shake a leg, put it together, and it's Imbala. It's the Ulysses butterfly, the only traditional native butterfly native to Australia. Now, this is a short version of the story. A little mute boy, okay? He couldn't verbally communicate and he couldn't talk properly. So upon seeing the Ulysses butterfly, that's how he went home and told the old people what he saw. And they go, oh, Imbala, Imbala. And they go, and he's thinking, yeah, for the first time in my life, I was able to communicate and get a message across. If not through voice and language, through sign language, okay? So he was that happy. He danced like that, and then they danced for days and days. All the boys and girls, they joined in, okay? And the men of the tribe sharing that style of dance. And you'll only really find that style of dance on the east coast of Australia. That's why I paint up like this. I use dots. I've learnt the dots because that's strictly for the central desert regions, but I've learnt them to represent the sunrise. Sun comes up east coast, the Western Australian brothers and sisters, they'll do the opposite, okay? The sun down. Now, Australia Day. When is that? 2 days' time, okay? Like the people of the stolen generation, which I can't speak on behalf, I'm totally not qualified, but I could not imagine the pain and suffering that they not only went for themselves but all their loved ones. Try this. Imagine being out here near La Perouse, out here on Bidjigal country, on Gadigal country, okay, 2 of the 28 clans of the Darug or the Eora Nation, and watching the first tall ships come in. Something like this. When I mention the word mother, I'll just grab my manuscript here because I haven't recited for quite a while, but I'll see how I go. This is a poem I wrote when I was 19 called Positive Progression. When I mention mother, I mean Mother Earth. Long before the days of the high-rise, Harbour Bridge, Opera House, and investors roamed across the expanse of our beautiful mother, my independent nomadic ancestors. They enjoyed a life of tranquility, each day passed at a leisurely pace, but total oblivion would catch them unprepared for what they were about to face. First encounters with their adversaries instilled into hearts was great fear. Where did they come from? What did they want? And why did they look so queer? Did they come from the sky or the water? Did they come from the granites? Or could this be the inconceivable? Were they even from another planet? Because theirs was the only country, so they thought, virgin coastlines fortified by trees. Such a journey could only be made by great spirits across such treacherous seas. Petrified eyes watched so anxiously as those aliens they gradually drew near. For what could they do? They felt so defenceless. Wouldn't you, gun against spear? Great battles were fought over this land, ferocious, bloody wars of attrition. Sacrifice were countless young victims. Main incentive, preservation of tradition. In emulation of their proud forefathers, the invaders, the damage they would deliver as they callously culled down the innocent, A result, a perennial red river. But discontented with dwelling on the outskirts would later see them infiltrate the interior. But this was to be their downfall, as old mum proved to be their superior. But 200 plus years have passed already of my 200 plus years have passed already since the time of that initial invasion of my beautiful, defiant people. Almost complete now was our eradication. And my poor old mother, look, she's in agony. Her flesh and veins are so polluted. But the foe's influence doesn't stop there, because even my blood is diluted. But guess what? I consider it to be a great privilege to live now, because back then was a mess. And if it's a crime to be proud of your heritage, hey, I'm guilty as charged, I confess. But that's all a part of the past now. The damage has already been done. So it's up to every Australian to unify and to positively progress as one. Yeah. 19, wow, what the hell was I on? You must have been smoking me with them magic leaves, Unky. Now here's like an interconnecting poem I'd like to share. It's called Let's Be Grey. But the funny thing is, I wrote them back to front. I wrote this one first. This is my first ever poem. And it's a tribute to my beautiful great-grandmother, Dolly Roberts, a Gummeroy and a Waka Waka woman. Okay? It's called Let's Be Grey. And it's about me and Mum just sitting around yarning. It's a part of our culture, eh? Like, don't have books, etc. Didn't have laptops. Okay? Sit around and talk. Oral traditions, as you all know anyway. So, called Let's Be Grey. It's all so distantly vague now. Memories are intermittent today as a man. As I'd listen to Mum reminiscing about advice-seeking days with her gran. She had the answers to everything. Inspirational to Mum was Gran's plight. Passed on to me now from my mother, her Gran's answer to this needless colour fight. Old Gran, she handed out friendship to everyone, to doctors, lawyers and kin. In her eyes, you were judged as a person, disregarding the colour of skin. All Australians now answer this question, why is skin colour still relevant today? If you ever encounter racism's ugliness, you just turn to that culprit and say, old mate, we've come a long way now since those battles down at Botany Bay. So why judge me for being black or white? Because I only see people in grey. I'm known as Gummeroy Didge, but I was actually christened as Roy Newman. And if you'd like me to be your friend for life, just simply colour me human. Now, if everyone adopts my attitude from both sides, there'd be no more confrontation, and the positive progression would be allowed to continue striving for this elusive one nation. So to contribute to a harmonious future, to that racist, I have something to say. Mate, just so long as you're a beautiful person, you're not black or white, you're just grey. Which dance? Fun dance? Yeah. Okay. Can everyone say yubble? Yubble. It means one. Now, this I borrowed from a fellow called Uncle Magpie Smith, and also one of my brothers, Mungun Gully. He's a descendant of the Bundjalung and the Yurrumbeh people. It's just a simple show-off fun dance, counting to 5. Why do we only count to 5 in most Aboriginal languages? We're not greedy. Okay? If you would have seen me last year, you'd probably think I was greedy because I was out there like that. But it's all counting to 5. Now, yubble is 1, bulu is 2. Very simply, put them together. Yubble bulu is 3. If bulu is 2, you say it twice, okay? Bulu bulu, and dungan means your fingers, your toes, or the number 5 or anything after. Can't eat more than 5 fish. Can't eat more than 5 fish, okay? You don't need more than 5 of anything in your life, but I think you got more than 5 wives. Hey. Everyone, yubble. Yubble. Bulu. Bulu. Yubble bulu. Yubble. Bulu bulu. Bulu. Dungan. Dungan. Okay. Everyone clap. Hey yubble bulu, yubble bulu, 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 dungan. Hey yubble bulu, yubble bulu, 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 dungan. Hey yubble bulu, yubble Yababolo. Which one? It's all up to, I got to be considerate of Nath, because I've been playing Yidaki for 23 years. I've been singing for probably about 34, and honest, the Bayami, the creator, this is 10 times more of a workout. What I'm doing is so easy compared to dancing. I've tried it and I've failed miserably, and I don't think I'm ever going to be a dancer. So what do you want to do? Okay. This one's all about punishment, taught to me by one of my beautiful traditional uncles from Ilko Island, Joe Gumbala. It's all about these two little boys. Now, they were told that many times, okay, not to go to a specific hunting ground. So the old elder, he sung up this devil bird, kind of like a plover with poison darts in the end of his wings, to chase after them, go, hey, bird, go and track those two young fellas down. Make sure they don't go to the other hunting ground. Make sure they strictly stay on the path. So anyway, they never. So the devil bird, or kind of like a plover, flew, stuck them in the back of the neck. Immediately they became all disorientated, like they were drunk, and they lost their way, and they never found their way back home. Okay? So it's about keeping to and adhering to traditional cultural law. Okay? Because without that, you got nothing. Okay? You'll be ousted from the tribe. Same with the language. If you don't know your language, a lot of time for an Aboriginal songman, an Aboriginal elder, was sitting down reciting the songs, because it's the songs that were your navigational tool, okay? Uncle Max might speak a lot more about that. Following the song lines. You got no language, you got no identity, okay? And then you can't find your way around. Before key cards and GPS, we used to sing songs. And that's why even today, I can pretty much guess from whereabouts within the confines of Australia Aboriginal people are, based on their songs. Okay, moving like the big hills in the ocean. The desert people. The rhythms in the songs you could see through your physical eye as you're walking through that particular part of the country. So if you're singing a flat song and you're next to Byron Bay, you're bloody lost. It's as simple as that. Now, well, you know that. Yeah. Okay. Just thought I'd say that. So, inside the songs are knowledge about which way to go. Okay, and even all those things. There's 7, okay? We call that 7 cut. So on your travels, you might have to see 7 mountains, or 7 of this, or 7 of that, to confirm that you're travelling in the right direction. So within the songs, there's knowledge about where to stop, which way to go, how to find food, water, shelter, etc., etc. Okay? So I'll ask you a quick question, like my brother Turtle, who Uncle Max is a mentor of as well. He asked me one time, he goes, hey brother, how do Aborigines travel at night? And I sat down for a couple of hours and I come back and go, cuz, you got me stumped. He goes, good, because they don't. Okay? You must be seeing what you're singing about.
How do they do the 7 if they only count to 5?
Because then they repeat the last 2, the dungan, okay? 2 times. Yeah. What are we singing? Yeah. Yeah. Just keep it simple. Hey, Unky, you got to keep it simple. Everything was simple except for the love lives, I think. I don't know. Here we go. To what's happened here? Here we go.
Chijanja pani wali wa, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa, chijanja pani wali wa, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa, hey wale 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 wa, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa, chijanja pani wali wa, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa. Chijanja pani wale wa, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa, hey wale 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 wa, oh chijanja pani na yena, chijanja pani wa, ay 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 ma, ay 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 ma.
It keeps cutting in and out. I just keeps cutting in and out. That's cool. Now, just imagine life for me growing up, even until this day. Imagine having a head like this, travelling across all of the continents, okay? In Morocco, actually in Paris, I'm Moroccan. In Italy, I'm sometimes Italian, even though I've got a grandfather of Italian origin. Just imagine being called Wog Boy by my Aboriginal cousins, because I didn't have the little cute nose like a squash pumpkin, okay, that could have served me a lot better in my boxing career. And I used to get it from both sides. I used to get racism and reverse racism. And even till to this very day, a lot of the tribal brothers that I work with, upon seeing me, hey, look out, how come you be sounding like us when you're playing and you're singing, but you look like an Arab or like that Bin Laden fellow, because normally I had the big beard. So here's a little poem that I wrote over dinner one night. It's called Inner Identity. And me and Nath just had a laugh about this one, because we could relate to this one. Because everyone goes, oh, what are you doing down here, like working with this traditional Aboriginal man, exploiting him? I go, I'm a black fella too. Okay, so this is it. They all think that the Aborigines only come from the Northern Territory, so NT. It goes like this. I don't have a mass of curly hair. My nose ain't flat and my nostrils don't flare. If I'm not all enlightened like those tribes in NT, does that give you the right to prejudge me? When you say to me, excuse me a minute, young man, now are you really an Aborigine? Or is that just a tan? Well, what gets me going, and I think it's a real blast, when you ask me I'm a quarter or even half caste. See, the answer to that question, I still don't know, because which part is black? My right arm or big toes? Or maybe my face, a bit darker than my bum? Hey, but you'd be pretty white too if you never see that sun. Well, what I'm about to say shouldn't be a surprise, but some Aborigines, we got blonde hair with blue eyes, or covered with freckles with the fairest of skin. But you know when you're an Aborigine, because it comes from within. Now here's a personal poem from my two uncles here. Without these two beautiful uncles, just imagine growing up before the 1969 referendum. You think I could jump on a plane a couple of months ago? Well, as Amber reminded me, it wasn't a couple of months ago, it was about 6 months ago. And I'm about to leave for Greece as a part of the Oedipus Rex play, playing a little small cameo kind of role in that, in various parts of Greece and what's that little place? Yeah, Cyprus, that's the one there. Kind of like, yeah, okay. So before the referendum, colour bars like in Moree, okay, that was once the racism capital of Australia. Now things are getting better. Race relations are getting a lot better in Moree, because a lot of the gubbars or the white fellas are helping out the black fellas, and a lot of the black fellas are hanging out with the white fellas, and there's a lot more racial harmony there. So anyway, I wasn't born until 1973, so I was one of the generation just after all of that, the racism, etc. Weren't allowed to sit at the back in the theatre, right up the very front row, okay? Had to have a ticket of exemption. This is my mum and this is my dad. They were born and living on the banks of the river. Had to have a ticket of exemption just to leave their mission, okay? That's a little form of identification. So this, my two uncles, this is for you and you, from myself, Norm and Nathan. It's called Respect Your Elders. Things have certainly changed amongst my people over the years. Almost gone are the days of the corroboree, respect for our elders and peers. Look, today's rebellious youth, they're always wanting more, and they'll get it if they want it, irrespective of the law. Stealing, fighting, murders filled with boiling rage. If they're looking for solutions, let's go back through history's page. The days before the tall ships and good old Captain Cook, when punishment from our elders was the only thing it took to chastise a wayward warrior who would not toe the line, with no outside interference within our sacred confine, where joy was found in abundance. Non-existent was all of this moaning, just consistent echoes of laughter like the ancient Yeraki droning. When the young would not dare cross their teacher's border because they had the utmost of respect and a dream time of social order. When the young... something like that. They were not driven by greed like today's materialistic vulture, as total contentment was found through the practice of our timeless culture. Well, thousands of years later, still strong and here to stay, are the new generation of elders who must be treated the same way. You've got to allow their lessons to infiltrate the inner depths of your mind. Then we can search the whole world over. No more comforting words will you find. So young ones, you must listen, and not a word should be rejected, because it's their advice that will keep you in the mainstream and protected. Yeah. Thank you. One more poem, and we're going to do one or two more traditional dances. Then, like Amber's mentioned, for about the last 9 years, walking through the Shannon markets, and this cool brother, Gunga Geary, looks at me, "Hey, you're Gummeroy." I go, "Yeah, you're Gunga Geary. I'm a big fan of your music." Cut a long story short, he invited me along to a concert one night in Byron Bay where I spent 7 years, and I was only supposed to go on a 2-week holiday, but I stayed there. Okay, and that's where I met my brother Norm as well. Anyway, cut a long story short, I wrote a song called Murray Gubba Yugal. It's kind of like the translation of the first two poems I did. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, but just wake up to yourselves and look after the planet and look after each other. It's all about caring and sharing. So even in our culture, when you deconstruct the family makeup, you got big extended family, and they can also give you a tap on the head as well. Okay, they got full permission to chastise you. Example: your father is your father, all his brothers are your father, all his sisters are your auntie. Then you do the reverse: your mother is your mother, all the sisters are your mothers. Okay, so you got to do what they tell you, and then all the brothers are your uncle, etc., etc. But Uncle Max will go into that, I presume, as well. So this one here, I'm going to do a tribute to the Mother Earth, because that's what it's all about. We come from the Mother Earth, and we shall return to the Mother Earth. Okay. Now, just imagine if you're an Aboriginal person, right? And you came back now, many incarnations later, and you're looking at the Mother Earth in its state right here and now. You might say something like, "Why did I write so many poems?" This, and then here it is, you might say something like this. "Hey, Mum, is that really you, my mother from days of old, the victim of such degradation from methods so crude and bold? Like a vulture to a carcass, your resources they did devour, providing a sense of social importance and egotistical power. They care not for your mum, cared not for your health. You just offer short-term solutions, all in the name of wealth. I've listened on many still nights. I could hear you bellowing and screaming, wishing your guardians would return to the nurturing ways of the dreaming. Oh, the pain must have been so excruciating, Mum, as you were ripped and torn apart. To ensure a successful recovery, we'll have to do one thing for a start. Follow the ways of my ancestors. Never take more than you need. Just as long as you have a roof overhead and in your stomach a nourishing feed. Oh, but the battle still rages today, and no excuse will suffice. If we're going to attain preservation, just live by my following advice. Why don't we just quit the fighting and abolish all of the fuss? We can never own this priceless land. Hey, Mother Earth really owns us." See that picture there? Taken on the night of September 11, 2001. Yeah, where were you guys? Doesn't matter. The last dance is Gidding. Now this is a special dance to all of us because we're brothers. Even though biologically we're not related to Brother Norm. I only met Nathan a few years ago and we established the fact that his grandmother is actually my godmother. Back when I used to be a good little Christian boy and used to steal the holy bread and go home and watch cartoons and eat it with Milo. I did. So this is about the rainbow lorikeet, gidding, okay? One of the rainbow lorikeets taken its first flight for life, falls off the tree, goes down, hurts itself. The other one comes down, hey, get up, quick, get up. I've got to teach you how to fly. I've got to heal you. We've got to get back up to that branch before big yabal, or boro yotandali, a big goanna or a big snake might come along and eat you all up. Gidding.
Oh, gidding, garia, gidding, garia, kaya mana, yapone, pro, kaya mana, yapone, pro, kaya mana, yapone, pro, black, kaya, black, kaya mana, yapone, pro, kaya mana, yapone, pro, kaya mana, yapone, pro, kaya mana, yapone, pro, black, kaya, bolana.
We got that Gigi. Can you pass that, please? The Gungagiri CD. This is a song, folks, I wrote, I provided the lyrics to back in 2003. So if I can, whenever Miss Amberfay feels happy enough at her own leisure to come up, and this is our finale. So can we all say Yahweh? Yahweh. Means thank you. Thank you so much for having us here. Once again, to the Gadigal people, to my two beautiful uncles, and also to Miss Eloise King over here for providing us the opportunity, giving us the performance space. And I just want to say I performed here last year and it's so good to be back. I'm back, so here we go. Here we go. This one's in the key of F sharp. So anyone, if you feel like dancing, it's a rockin' song. Jump up and have a dance. You want to dance, Unky? Come on. That was so much. Thank you. Would you believe the highlight of my trip to Lebanon with this brother here, doing that downtown? Yeah. You almost had him convince you were local. Just before I hand over to Amplify, I'm going to sing you a farewell song. No amplification whatsoever. This is a travelling song for all you lovely people. Safe journeys on your way back home. This was given to me also by my brother Mungood Gully and my uncle Magpie Smith, sung in the Bunjalung language, called Bugalbai. Can we all say Bugalbai? Bugalbai. Means catch you later, farewell. Bugalbai, Bugalbai, Nali Ambalela, Nambe, 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 Nambe. Bugalbai, 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 echoes, 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 echoes. Bugalbai, Bugalbai, Nali Ambalela, Nambe, 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 Nambe. Bugalbai, 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 echoes, echoes, echoes. Ay. Thank you.